I hope my screen is
So
visible to you, right?
yeah, Gaurav, just I don't know. Can I ask something?
Yeah, sure, sure.
So I don't know. Maybe it's too early to ask, but
Mhm.
since if we are not getting chance to work
Mhm.
practically on the audio code SBC, so with the help of self preparation or the trainings, we will be able to have at least up to L2 level of knowledge based on the trainings or based on the self study. Definitely,
Mhm.
to have a L3 level of knowledge, you have to work on these things. But what about L1 or at least up to L2 level of knowledge, which actually will show some kind of which will
Mhm.
make the other person to trust. Okay, you have some knowledge. Up to L2 level.
Yeah.
So
So definitely. So every individual who is not worked upon these technologies, they definitely want some kind of stuff where they really want to showcase that you have that skills, and whoever is going to hire you, or if you want to go with, for an interview, they should trust you that okay, you have the understanding, at least the basic understanding, so that they can give you the chance, right? So definitely what I'm going to do, as I said, I'm not going to give a presentation. I will definitely give the presentation, but that would be presentation plus the lab. And I will be covering in the aspect of Microsoft Teams direct routing. And because you need to have a domain registered on the GoDaddy or any other domain provider to connect your Microsoft Teams direct routing solution with the AudioCode SBC, right? So
yeah,
I have my own domains. Okay, I have purchased many like 2 3 domains for my personal work. So I'm going to give you the a demo, how you will connect your domain, how you will register your domain on the Microsoft Teams Admin Center, and how you will create the SIP trunks between AudioCode SPC and the Microsoft Admin Center, and how you will create users, how you are going to create the dial plans and all. And also on the audio code front, you will be able to see everything from the L1, L2, and if I'm confident that at the end of this session, you will have the L3 kind of knowledge, because on the audio code I'm going to cover each and every section, how you will read the logs, how you will capture the debugs, how you will check the history of logs, or how you will monitor your complete infra. That kind of knowledge I'm going to give. Okay, so definitely you don't worry, you will have at least not at the L3, but at least you will have the L2 level knowledge on the audio code.
yeah. Frankly, that's what
Yeah.
the expectation is, and
Yeah.
because yeah. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So, as I said, the uh, session would be a question and answer session. So, my first question would be, what is the difference between a SBC and a gateway? And will that audio code work as a SBC or as a gateway? So, any sort of idea?
SBC, both the legs will be it will be purely on the IP to IP connectivity, but
Hmm?
in case of gateway, that may not be the case. So
Yeah, that's right understanding. That's totally
and
right understanding.
yeah, and in addition to IP to IP connectivity, it can provide other features as well,
Mhm.
like topology hiding from the security point of view. You can have the more control from the security point of view as well.
Right.
Also, the SBC, like it has work on session, like
Mhm.
we can procure the license, and like in gateway we have a T1 E1 lines, and where we can't increase unless we have a physical link. But in SBC we can have a SIP trunk, and so is it kind of like that, we can say, on
Yes, yes,
SBC?
Kaushik. Yes, yes, you're also right. So for the gateway, we will have the ISDN lines, which as you said, even T1 lines, which we also call PRI and BRI, primary rate interface, and BRI. PRI has more capacity, while BRI has less capacity. So that is depends what type of gateway you want to create. So audio code gives you both feasibility. So if you have the legacy environment like PRI, BRI, so you can choose audio code to act as a SPC as a gateway. That depends on your legacy environment, whatever you have. So you both are correct. Okay. So now my second question is, what is actually SPC is? So SPC is, everyone knows, session border controller. So these three terms, what they actually denotes? Any sort of idea?
So, okay, so it's kind of a device which will sit at the border of the premises and which will control the sessions which are passing through that device itself. I mean, if we go by these three terms.
Yep. Yep. So yes. So let me just come on my presentation and then we'll kick off. Okay, so today we are just going to introduction of audio code SPCs. Okay, what we are going to cover? We are going to cover what is the SPC, what are the core roles and function of it, what are the portfolio of it. So and what is back-to-back user agent architecture and some management tools, as I said. Okay, so what is session? As Aditya, you said, so session stands for managing the real-time communications like phone calls, video conferencing, or multimedia streams, which we know it's a session. So once the call is established, we call it as a session, right? So this session is managed by this audio code device. And then border, as you said, it is the demarcation point between two different networks. So if you are having LAN, so there are different deployment architecture, which I will discuss later stage. So you can deploy the SPCs on your enterprise LAN side, or on the WAN side, or on the service provider level. So there are different kind of deployment models which you can use, and that's why it is called as a border, because it defines the border of two different network domains. And then controller, so a controller will provide you the different kind of routing policies, security features, and other if you have header manipulations tool, if you want to do any kind of uh, uh, manipulations into your invites and all, so that will be managed by your controller. And all these three terms defines the SPC. So you have to understand what kind of term is required for the SPC to handle what type of level. Okay, so this is the SPC deployment. I will cover in more detail, but it is just a basic introduction of the deployment model of SPC. So you can deploy SPC on your LAN side. So what LAN side mean? So suppose this is a customer and this is your provider. Okay, so provider will have some MPLS connectivity from where they are connected, and from that MPLS, this customer might have purchased the IP VPN. So for any IP network or any contact center environment or IP telephony environment, you must need a IP VPN connectivity, which is a dedicated connectivity. And this is recommended in Microsoft Teams Direct Routing solution. You need to have a dedicated IP VPN connectivity, like you have your routers in your home. So that is your dedicated home connectivity for your internet to work. So likewise, this IP VPN works for this end customer, and how it will be deployed. So you will have a router which is connecting to this provider's router, which is your MPLS. Okay. So we call it as a P, and this is a CP or C router, which is customer provider is or customer is router. And after that, you will have your switch or firewall. Okay. And then you can deploy your audio code SBC. Okay. So if this is deployed after this, then it is called LAN, which will fall under zone 1. Zone 1, I just given a name. Okay. But this kind of architecture would be a LAN SBC architecture. Okay. And suppose this architecture is on the provider side, then it will be called as a WAN, because it is coming over WAN. And then you can deploy it on the WAN side. And then there is a carrier side. It's if the call is going to the PSTN word and you have deployed your audio code SBC on the carrier network, so it will be called as a carrier SBC. So this is how this SBC deployment architecture works, which I will cover in more detail with more clearer diagrams. This is very hazy. I'm not good into this diagrams and all. So let's move on. These are the core rules of the SBC, where it will provide you the security. Okay, security means any kind of certificates. So for any of the, like in CUCM, you have to renew the certificates, right? Whether it is a self-signed or CA-signed. Okay, so it's likewise in audio code SBC or any of the other SBCs, you will have the certificate which will be mandatory to get the handshake between two different components of or two different elements of the SBC via SIP trunk. Okay, so you need to have this certificate renewal, and then apart from this will provide you this DDoS protection features, toll frauds. So you can hide your as you someone said, like topology hiding. So you can hide your topology or mask IP which would be shown to the far end users or the callers or PSTN environment. So that we call as a topology hiding. And there are many more other features which you can achieve via security. Then interoperability. So interoperability means, suppose you will have like a mismatch between DTMF signaling. So if you are using transcoding or DSP resources, so you can achieve this interoperability thing by invoking these features into your SBCs. So this is another like role of SBC. And then the connectivity. So NAT traversal, so network address translation. So if you want to flow the IP through a NAT IP, or if you want to manage your IP to IP routing, or fully qualified domain resolution and all, so you can achieve this on the audio code SBC into the connectivity role. And then the QS marking. So every voice network should have the QS marking. Okay, so if the RTP is flowing, so it should have the QS marking. Otherwise, the quality of service of that call might be degraded. And how you will achieve it? So there are multiple ways. So on the network side, you should have the QS marking. So suppose this is a switch. Okay, and you have the SBC connected to this interface. So whatever traffic is coming in and out through this interface, and if it is a if this interface is configured as a voice and data interface, then you should prioritize your voice traffic over the data. Otherwise, the quality of the voice will be degraded, because this port is carrying both traffic, voice and data. So that is why it is recommended to have the port which is connecting to the SBC should have the voice tagging only. Okay, so this defines the QS marking on the network layer. Okay, so that is how you can achieve the quality of experience into the audio code SBCs. Okay, and then let me come to this slide, that be more clear for you guys. I will not cover this one. These are the Microsoft. Okay. Okay. So this this is the audio code portfolio. What kind of devices and what kind of offering they have. Okay. So on the monitoring part, they have one voice operation center, which is your monitoring tool. Okay. Uh, this is this provides you all the monitoring with respect to health, call, traces. So you can deploy this one voice operation center on your environment, and you can have all those features enabled for your company or for your organization. And then routing manager. So if you want to like have the routing based on the numbers, then you can configure this routing manager. And then there are many other packs which you can have, like fax, call recording. These are additional features which audio code offers along with the SPC. Okay, but you should have different applications deployed for these features to work. Okay, and then these are the cloud-based appliances which which I have not seen. These are mostly used into the contact center environment, because these are mostly like the cloud connector and some kind of load balancer applications, load balancer appliances. So if you want to deploy your audio code or load balancer, then you can choose any of these applications. And then audio code also provides you the IP phones. So these are the IP phones which are available nowadays. There are many more which is manufactured by AudioCodes. And then the hardware SPCs. So we have many more hardware SPCs, but there are listed only few. And then we have a hybrid SPC, as I was saying. So audio code you can deploy as a gateway, as a SPC. So in the hybrid form, you have these SPCs available, which you can configure as a gateway and all. And then adapters, you can have adapters which connect to the gateways. So there are these gateways are there, which you can deploy on your on-premises environment if you want to have the hardwares. And then this is nowadays this Skype for Business is obsolete. Yep.
Can you please go back to the previous page?
Yep.
Right. So here the hardware, software SBC and hybrid SBC's gateway.
Mhm.
What actually difference? Like I'm not getting. Like if I want to choose median 1K, or if I want to choose median 4K.
Mhm.
So what, like when I'll choose that things, like what purpose,
Okay.
what requirement I should have, then I can check.
Okay.
Like
So this median 4000 doesn't have the even T1 ports. Okay. This is completely IP to IP connectivity SPC. But this median 1000, as you were saying, PRI and BRI, if you want to connect your even and T1 lines, okay, you should have some ports, right, on the SPC. Otherwise,
yes.
where you will connect that cables, right? So this median 1K provides you both feasibility. If you want to have a IP to IP connectivity, then it is feasible. And if you want to have IP to even T1 connectivity, or
Okay.
ISDN, if I say, then you can deploy this. So that's why it is called hybrid.
And
Because it
also
works
it
as,
has analog ports as well. Is it
yes,
something?
yes, yes. So that is why it is called as a hybrid, because it works both as a IP to IP or IP to ISDN. Okay. Any other question? Okay.
Good.
Okay. So this Microsoft Skype for Business is now obsolete. It is not anymore sold or anymore supported for from Microsoft.
Gaurav,
Yeah.
not a technical question, but Is this mediant word, does it have any kind of significance, or it just the vendor has chosen to?
It's a model name, you can
I
say.
mean, it's just like that only.
Yeah, it's just like that only.
Okay, okay.
So
So no
no
technical
significance.
significance or no significance.
No.
Okay, okay. Good. Thanks.
Yeah. So then where you can deploy this. So you can deploy your SPC on-prem, hybrid, and cloud. Okay. And you can connect your Microsoft Teams, Microsoft TDR, Microsoft Teams Direct Routing, or Microsoft uh, MSTPM, Microsoft Teams Phone Mobile, or MSOC, Microsoft Operator Connect, via all these three uh, architecture. Okay. So this is what here I have written. Okay. So audio code has a very big market share. Okay. So uh, audio code is the very popular SPC and very certified SPCs with any kind of the contact center provider. Okay. So earlier when the Microsoft wasn't there, so if any company or any enterprises who wanted to connect their call manager environment. Okay, so just tell me what is the difference between UCM and your SPC? Any sort of idea?
CCM is basically more or like for the your device registration. I mean the hard phone or the soft phone registration, and it will just control the internal call routing. But whenever you want to go out of your, you know,
Mhm,
you want to do any kind of routing over the PSTN network,
mhm,
so it won't be able to do unless you integrate with either gateway or the SBC.
mhm. Okay.
And the SBC is like it can perform the call routing, and it can control that call routing.
Mhm,
Uh, uh, I mean, from both the traffic either out of the organization or coming into the organization, right?
mhm. Okay. Yeah, somewhat correct. But there is a very simple definition which I will tell you. But before
Uh,
that, might be Kaushik has another view.
Yeah, like call manager, it's a central call processing unit, like
Mhm,
what the phone register, like what and call it takes the decision, like what the call could route it or something. And SBC, like if I send out through PSTN, that time it needs SBC, like in and out like that. So internal things CUCM can process, like, but whenever we go over the outside, then it needs SBC.
mhm. Okay. 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 So if I say UCM as a PBX, is
mm.
it a right understanding?
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so UCM and your Microsoft tenant, Ring Central tenant, these are your PBX.
BX, right.
Okay, and SBC is your SIP trunk provider or SIP trunk connector, you can say,
Mm. Yeah.
which provides you the PSTN connectivity, and you can create the SIP trunk towards the PSTN provider and towards your these PBXs to communicate from end to end, right? So now it is clear.
Yeah.
So audio code has a very big market share. Okay, if I say audio code is number one SBC, which is getting integrated with these kind of PBX environments, and then you will have Ribbon, and then you will have there are fight between Avaya and Oracle. So Avaya is mostly where the complete PBX environment is also Avaya, like Avaya Session Manager, Avaya Communication Manager and all. Then you deploy this Avaya SBC. And that is what the recommendation is also, because if you deploy any other SBC with this PBX, there might be some sort of features which you will miss out, because every PBX has their own features. And then you can have Oracle SBC. Then there are remaining SBCs, but these are more popular SBCs, whether it is service provider or enterprise. So uh, what is meant by service provider SBC and enterprise SBC?
Service provider is like they will be one the who will be the owner of the SBC, and I mean it will have the more capacity in terms
Mhm.
of handling the session.
Mhm. Okay.
And enterprise is like it's the I mean it will be the same SBC, but with where the enterprise itself will have the control in terms of configuration or managing.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Kaushik, can you?
Can you please come again the question? Actually, I didn't.
What is service provider SPC and what is enterprise SPC?
Um,
Okay, no problem. No problem. Let me explain. Okay. So if I say service provider as a shared SPC, is it wrong?
Service should be okay.
Yeah. Why? Because service provider is not only providing the service to one particular enterprise, right?
Right.
It will have the multiple customers configured on this SPC. And that is why it is called service provider or shared SPC, because it has the configuration and routing logics for not a particular customer, for every customer which are connected to this service provider SPC. And then enterprise SPC is the dedicated SPC for that particular enterprise. You will not have the other customer connected, because if I am a customer, so I will deploy my own enterprise SPC. I'm not going to share this SPC with any other customer, right? So this is the difference between service providers and enterprise SPC. Enterprise is a dedicated SPC which generally connects on the LAN side, like on the customer enterprises or customer devices. And service provider SPC is generally uh, connected on the WAN side, where a service provider provides the service. Okay. A service provider has the PSTN and the customer connectivity. This is customer and this is your PSTN, and this sits between this. Clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is like integration models. So I will not explain this because I'm going to share this slide, but I will just jump on the diagram. Okay. Okay. This is a shared core team track routing SPC. Okay. So if you see, this is a multi-tenant. Why I said multi-tenant? Because we are talking in terms of Microsoft. Okay. And in the Microsoft PBX, whenever you configure a customer, so you create a tenant, and that is why it is called multi-tenant. So if you deploy a SPC which is shared for the multiple customer, then it is called multi-tenant Teamstreak routing SPC, where it is handling multi customers calls, making routing logics and all. And then it is further connected, like as I was saying, service provider core, because you will have your service provider. So this sits between the service provider and this Microsoft, and it has a shared infra. So all the customer which are Microsoft customer and they have MSTDR service, they will have the same connectivity on this SPC, and then the call will go further towards the like PSTN environment. This is your PSTN. Now it is more clearer, right? How you will deploy, or if anyone says like this is your service provider SPC, now you know what is the difference, right? Okay, so this is your, what kind of deployment it is? Tell me.
Enterprise.
Yes, enterprise or LAN. Okay, because this SPC is sitting on the customer LAN environment, so that is why this is enterprise kind of deployment, where it is connecting to not directly with the service provider, it is connecting through the PSTN port. Okay, then this is another kind of architecture where you will have this SPC to act as a service provider for both side, like for the all customer of Microsoft and for the PSTN world. So you have trunks from this Microsoft. This is Microsoft SIP trunk, and this is your PSTN SIP trunks on the same SPC. Okay, so this is called shared SPC for all customer infra deployment option.
Aditya, for this case,
Mhm.
this SBC will be controlled by provider, right? Not the customer side. Like
Yes, correct.
if we manage teams and we can't have control on this SBC and after the SIP trunk and those things, right?
Yeah,
So
right. So your
we,
demarcation point would be here only. So
yeah, can it
customer
go like
demarcation.
that way? So like if we support, then what point we can support, and after that
Yeah.
who will
So
do that?
so suppose if you have deployed like in this model, so you are going to manage only Microsoft tenant, okay, as a customer. You are not going to manage, or you are not responsible for anything which is happening on the SPC. That is your service provider responsibility. If there is any issues which are coming on this SPC, any call which is not going through proper and rejected by this SPC, so whatever IT team you have, you need to ask them to contact this service provider to sort out that issue. So this is the demarcation point after which you are not responsible. Okay. So for any service provider, this kind of infra or deployment model they use. Okay. And then you have a private dedicated SPCs. So even you are a service provider, okay, but according to the customer requirements, they need their separate private SPCs. So as a service provider, you are managing this SPC, but this is a dedicated SPC to these customers. Okay, so this is this deployment model is called as a private dedicated SPC model. Okay, the SPCs are different and they are dedicated to a particular customer, but they are managed by your service provider. They are not managed by the customer. It is so there might be a confusion. Okay, then it can be an enterprise. No, it is not an enterprise. It is sitting on the service provider side, and if you want to deploy on enterprise side, then you need to deploy on the LAN. Then it will be called as enterprise SPC. Okay, so this is your another deployment option which you can use to deploy your AudioCode SPC in this kind of deployment option. Any
So
questions?
so can you please clarify again, like this dedicated one and this multi-tenant, like multi-tenant, it's like a one SBC, it supports multiple customers, and that one is different SBC, and but it will support different customer, right? And how the billing, like how the customer will choose, like because they will not see like what is going on inside this provider end,
Mhm.
whether it is multi-tenant or whether it is a like dedicated one. how we can understand, okay, this is going to one to one, like is it like a agreement kind of things, or like, because we don't have visibility, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is a legal and compliance agreement. Okay, so in this case, this customer can ask, okay, provide me the read access of this SPC. Okay, and the service provider can't deny it because these are the dedicated SPCs which they have deployed for the end user customer. They are not managing even, but they can ask that, okay, provide me the read access so that I can just view the configuration and all. So in that case, a service provider need to provide that access to the customer, and that is how they will make sure that this SBC which has been deployed for them is dedicated only to them, not getting used as a multi-tenant. Okay, so that is how the agreement and the legal works when a customer purchases a service from any service provider. So they make sure that, okay, the resources which they are using or they are getting deployed, that is dedicated to only them. Okay, so this is how this is a part of agreement, how the agreement is done with the customer. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah. And one more thing,
Mhm.
like sometimes, like as our infrastructure, like some SBC where our PRI connected, that is like M1K something.
Mhm.
But what about their model, like provider end, what SBC they will have mostly, like just to know about like what model they are following to make it.
Okay, so I am working into a like service provider. Okay,
Okay.
so how, if I tell in general infra, okay, so service provider have any of the SPC, whatever we have discussed, and then enterprise can have any other SPCs. The matter here is the SIP-trunk connectivity. Okay, so if you are using enterprise SPC, then you should have the IP connectivity through from here to your service provider, so that the SIP trunk, whenever you will create, it should come into service. So it doesn't matter what SBC service provider using, what SBC enterprise is using. The matter of the fact is the SIP trunk connectivity. It should come in service after once the SIP trunk is created, and all the connectivity is through between the customer and the service provider.
Oh,
Clear, right? Any questions?
Gaurav, just previous slide. Can you please go to previous
Yeah.
slide?
Yep.
Uh, okay. The option one.
Yep.
What is director? PSTM, STRS. Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah, I
Gaurav,
will.
one more thing,
Mhm.
like if we have a SIP trunk like to the provider,
Mhm.
so the trunk, the physical link is like your internet link. Is it?
Okay. Yep. Physical link would be your internet link. Okay, so
Okay.
good
So
question.
wherever we say like
Yeah,
SIP
I
trunk,
mean,
it's a data link,
Yeah. So
like data network, right?
let me open the paint and then let me give the idea. So this is your internet. Okay, and Microsoft has the 52 range and 54 range IPs. Okay, which is publicly available for connecting your SIP trunks. Okay, and then this is your suppose customer environment where this is your Microsoft Teams tenant, and then you have your routers, switches, and all. And then this is connecting. And then on the service provider side, what they will have other network components like routers, switches, and all. And they create a DMZ zone. DMZ is provides you the feasibility to have the traffic from open internet, and it segregates the traffic on the behalf of the IPs which are from where the traffic is coming in on the based of some contexts. Okay, so this is like purely a network stuff, but I'm just explaining you. So this DMZ zone gives you that feasibility how and the security so that your traffic would flow end to end from one way to and like this service provider. So for every connectivity, you need to create this DMZ zone. And on the this is on the on-premises environment. Okay, and if you are working on the cloud, so you create a virtual private clouds network to connect with your internet, and then further towards the customer as router or SBCs or whatever the component they have. So this is how this internet connectivity traffic flow works between service provider and the customers. I will show you how it will look like. Okay, so let me just come here on this. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
So let me come here. Okay. Virtual networks.
So Kaushik, in case of enterprise SBC, if you have a SIP trunk, then it will be not an internet link. It will be a link which will be service dedicated link. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, it will not be an internet link. It will be dedicated link which will be coming from the customers pop to till your as Gaurav mentioned, till your DMZ network. I mean, yeah.
So it means like if I have a outside call issue or incoming calling problem, which coming from through SIP trunk, then to whom we can contact, like our network team shall I involve, or like because if it is not internet link there, then who will supposed to work on it, like who will support on it, like just to know about their scope of work, like okay, I can check with network team because it's going through network internet link or somewhere else.
Okay, let me give you some basic example. Okay, so just take an example of your home router. Okay, so in your home router, what you do, you ask a provider, right? A service provider who is providing the internet connectivity, right? So what they do, they send the cables, like fiber cables, to your home, and they connect it to the router which is connected to your home, right? And then further, you connect your Wi-Fi or LAN network devices to this router, right? So suppose this is a pure internet connectivity, right? This is not a dedicated connectivity. This is your pure internet connection. And suppose if I replace it with your this environment with your Microsoft environment, okay, Microsoft devices and all. Again, this is going to the internet. So if there is any issue with respect to this internet connectivity or any quality of service degradation, whom you will contact? You will contact to your service provider. So service provider is responsible to give you all those bandwidth, QoS marking, and security, so that this all three things works together to forward your traffic towards the service provider DMZ zone, and then further towards the service provider SPC and all to route your call towards the PSTN network. Understand?
Yeah.
So you need to always engage your internet service provider to check out if there is any glitch into the network or any sort of quality of service issues. Because okay, let me. So how tell me how the bandwidth allocation works. So suppose if you are deploying a IP telephony or contact center environment, so how you will define how much bandwidth you need for your company to run? What aspects you need to keep in mind with respect to voice call? Any idea?
Dependent codec, like number of.
Totally right. Okay. So codec is one thing. Second thing, number of calls. Okay. These are the two major aspects on which you define your bandwidth, and then further other parameters comes like data and all, if you want to run some data traffic and all. But if you want to have dedicated voice connectivity, then these two major parameters are required to calculate your bandwidth, how much bandwidth you need, and that depends what kind of codec you need: G711, G729, G723, G722, what codec you want, because they have their own bandwidth rate or sampling rate, if you want to say. And then number of calls will be multiplied with this and will define your bandwidth. So this is how, if suppose you are opting for 2 Mbps link, okay. So with G729 you can run more calls, but with G711 you can run less calls, but your quality would be good. Voice quality would be good. So if there is any issues coming in for your voice quality or call drop, because what kind of issues comes with respect to internet? Call drop, voice quality, one-way audio, no audio. These are symptoms which generally indicates and ask you to troubleshoot from the network perspective. Okay. So in that case, you need to check this bandwidth allocation, then your internet service provider to check the connectivity from A to B, like from customer is to service provider. And that is how you will investigate this kind of issues from end to end. Okay. Yeah, clear now?
Yeah, it's fine. And one more thing, like Teams, like when I'm doing Teams call, whether I'm from home or in office, so both, like if I have a call failure, like all time I could like all time I can check with, like suppose I'm in home, so that time I will check with my internet, right? If something network issues or something like call quality issues or something, then I should check my internet provider, right?
Right.
And if I am in office, that time my office internet provider I should check.
Yes. Yes. Correct. So in office, generally we will have your IT team, right? Who is
Yeah.
sitting. So you can ask them, or you can reach. There should be a process how you will reach out to your IT team, and then IT team will further look into this, and they will investigate it with the service provider. Because generally the operations guys who are working into the voice domain, and if they are working on the corporate network, they will not directly engage any corporate network teams. That is the job of the office IT teams.
So when I am in office, so my responsibility till the SBC, right? Like provider SBC. So call should reach to that. If it's not reaching, then that is my problem, right? Like then after that, SBC will look after. Like if anything call failure after that, then they will check it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And because we are talking about the quality, so I will always recommend, and I always recommend to the individuals and corporate trainees that you always should keep OSI layer in your mind. You guys might be well aware about this, right?
Yeah, Guru.
Yeah. So let me just quickly, because I have questions in this. Yes. Okay. So suppose a customer is complaining that their calls are failing with 404 not found. On which layer you will start troubleshooting?
So that
Yeah.
means the call number is not reachable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are unable to find kind of that number or maybe the routing. So
Mhm.
should be on session layer, because since we will be dealing with the SIP messages.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, right. So these three layer you can consider one layer, because these are just a part of application only. Okay.
Mm.
So 404 directly indicates the problem is at application, right? Because the call is unable to find a number which is not defined into your SBC. So here application is your SBC, right?
Mhm.
SBC is doing all those routing mechanism. So
Yes.
SBC is sitting on this layer,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So if you are keeping this OSI layer in mind and someone asks you, okay, tell me on which layer or what kind of layer the troubleshooting should start, or where the issue lies. So sometimes generally non-technical people don't understand the SPC and all. So you can just simply say the problem lies on the application side. Application is filling the call with this reason, and we need to investigate it on the application side. Okay. So this is one scenario. So now the second scenario is A is sending the invite to B. Okay. Let me draw this invite, 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 invite. So in SIP, you might know if a device is sending the invite and if it is not getting response, it will retry that invite multiple times, and then after it will give some response. Okay. So suppose this is a kind of scenario where customer has called and it has reaches to SPC. In your traces, it is visible that it is reaching to the SPC, but SPC is not responding. So on what layer you will start troubleshooting? Any idea?
So the what we are checking at SBC, right?
Yeah. So in the traces, so let me.
What I meant to ask, on the SBC, we can see that our SBC is sending invite, but we are not receiving any response. Is that your
Yeah.
question?
So yeah. So if this is a Microsoft user, okay, and this is your
Okay.
SPC, and
Mhm.
this sends first invite.
Okay. Mm.
Then after some time, it did not get a response. It sends second invite. Then
Mhm.
after it not got a response third time, fourth time, and then it dropped the call. So on what layer you will start the troubleshooting?
Network level.
Why?
So I mean, again, I have a question here. So where we are looking at? I mean, if we are looking at on the Microsoft Teams level logs that we are sending the invites, then we are not receiving the response. In that case, we can have the troubleshooting on the network layer level, and on the SBC, if you are getting the invite,
Mhm.
then in that case, we have to check on the SBC. I mean, why it is unable to send the response. And in that case, we have to check whether the SBC is sending any kind of response to it or not. And if it is sending, then we are not seeing this on the MS Teams level log. So in that way, I mean, definitely it will point to the routing related. I mean, the not routing, I mean on the network related, right?
Yeah, very right.
Because team, yeah, Teams is sending the invite and it is reaching to the SBC. And if SBC is not, there could be two possibility. If whether SBC is responding to those invites is yes or not. So based on these two again things, we have to check.
You're
I mean,
totally right. Yeah.
yeah.
So if Microsoft logs, it indicates that it has sent the invite, and on the SBC side logs, you capture that it has not received the invite, then it is a network layer problem where routing is missing somewhere, a network packet are lost. Okay. And the second scenario which you just explained is SBC got that and it has sent the response, but it has lost somewhere in the network and it has not reaches to Microsoft. So this is the second possibility of network layer problem. Okay. So if you are keeping OSI layer in mind, you know on which layer and in what scenario you need to start looking from where. Okay. So that is why I always recommend that you should keep this OSI layer in your mind to have this kind of troubleshooting, because it will ease your job, and you will directly, without wasting time, you can directly involve the relevant teams or concerned teams who actually look after those components. Okay. So, okay, so we will discuss some more scenarios, but let's move on. Okay. I hope things are getting clear, right?
Yeah, Gaurav.
Okay. Okay. So this is how this direct routing connectivity would be. So you can go through later with the slides, and then this is direct routing connectivity, how it will be connected, and then this SBC portfolio. So I'm mostly going to focus on this. Sorry, on this one. Okay, because these are the on-prem SBCs, and on-prem is like, yes. Okay, so one more question to you guys. Which model is feasible, or you will recommend on-prem or cloud, and why?
I prefer
Depends on the requirement, I would say, customers need.
Mhm. Okay, Kaushik, any view?
Yeah, I prefer on premise, like some of the like analog lines should be needed, some of the things. So where lift phone or something, fire station, like all those analog phones that you can't use without the local SBC kind of things like gateway.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if you ask me personally, so I also prefer on-prem, and there are many reasons of it. Okay. Even though now we are talking very much about cloud, but on-prem has their own benefits. Okay. And I'm not sure if you have heard the news. In the Europe, there was a like many companies who has migrated from on-prem to cloud, and then they have again fallen back to on-prem. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah. They have I will tell you the reason. Okay. Why? Okay. So let's come on the. PowerPoint. So in on-prem, any customer who is deploying on-prem design, so what they will have to purchase, they will have to purchase the hardware, phones, and the applications which they are going to deploy. Okay. So hardware, yes, you need to have the life cycle to update your hardware, model, softwares, and all, and you need to do every time patching. Okay. And then phone the same way, you need to update your software and all, and then the application in the same way. You need to do the lifecycle management. Okay. But this is a part of your hardware context and all, from whom you are going to purchase these hardwares. But the benefit, so drawback is it is costly, but the benefits are hardware you are going to purchase at once, and you can purchase maximum capacity. So suppose currently your organization is for 4,000 employees, so you can purchase of 8,000, which is double, so that if your organization increases the size, you have the feasibility to support with the same SPC or same hardware which you have already deployed. It is a one-time investment, right? You are going to purchase the hardware one time, and then you have to just manage the life cycle of this hardware. Okay. And then similarly, the phones. Nowadays, most of the provider has their application phones. So this has the less uses now. But if you are having the IP phones, so in that case also you can use the IP phones with the shared infra, where a particular or many users can log in into one phone with their username and credentials, and they can utilize this. And then the applications, whatever you want to deploy, so you can deploy any application on the hardware resources. So this is one-time investment, and it is quite costly. But further, if you are growing organization, you can use the same hardware or on-prem components to run your business. Okay. Now let's come to cloud. Then you will have your answer. Okay. So cloud, if I give you an example of my mobile phone, okay, and mobile recharge. Okay, so everyone has their own mobile service provider SIM. Okay, Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, and all. So you do monthly recharge, right? And this recharge, most of the companies just give you the calls and data, right? Only these two features will be there into your recharge. Okay. So suppose if you want to make some international calls, so you need to purchase another pack for this, right? If you want to have the caller tunes, you need to purchase the caller tune pack. So for every feature which you are going to use additionally, you need to purchase it. Okay. So you paid for this, and then you are paying more amount for these features. So your total cost is getting increased, right? Similarly, if I talk this in terms of cloud, so in cloud, you will deploy your VM instances, deploy your virtual private cloud, you will deploy the applications, and for every user, you need to purchase that service. Okay. So per user, the cost of cloud will be more. Every cloud provider has a tagline, pay as you go, but they don't tell you the disclaimer, like the features whatever you are going to use, that is going to be added into this pay as you go feature, both. So if you are going to use any feature with respect to your requirements, it will increase your cost per user. So the total cost would be more than the on-prem design or on-prem deployment for this cloud deployment infra. So that was the reason when that Europe market companies has switched to cloud environment, their cost was coming more than the on-prem infra, and that is why they switched back to the on-prem. So it is just like a mobile recharge. Whatever cloud services you are going to or whatever resources you are going to use, you need to pay amount for every resource. Whether if you are going to create a firewall rule, you need to pay. You are going to create a VPC, you need to pay. You are going to create a VM instance, you need to pay. So for every service or every resource, you need to pay the amount, and that amount will be added in per service base into your account. So the total cost would be more into the cloud. Every cloud provider says that you don't have to manage the infra, you don't have to manage anything with respect to physical data center, but they never tell that the features which they are going to use or which customer is going to use, they need to pay for every feature. So that is why it is more costly in my view. There might be different views, but from my view, the cloud is definitely an emerging technologies, but the cost is higher than the on-prem environment, because on-prem is a one-time investment, and then you have to just manage your life cycle for your devices, and that gives you the more feasibility to scale up. Even in cloud, you have the scale up and vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, where you can auto scale your resources. But if you are running a very big infra, then this is going to cost you more. So that is why the reason was to switch back into the on-prem environment on the Europe market. So I'm not sure now. What is your view after this explanation?
Gaurav, you have also mentioned something, Mediant SE Software Edition.
Mhm.
So, what's the difference? SE Software Edition, I mean.
Okay, that's what I was going to explain. Okay, let me just
Okay.
come here. Okay. So this virtual and cloud SBC, it has two edition. One is VE and one is CE. Okay. So VE means virtual edition. So virtual edition you can deploy on VMware hypervisor. Hypervisor means vCenter, vSphere and all.
Mhm.
KVM is your KVM consoles which you have in your hypervisors. So you need to have the image file of AudioCode SBC, which you can attach to your VM, and then you can boot your VM onto that image.
Mm.
But in Cloud Edition, they have inbuilt images for AudioCode SBCs, and you need to have a stack manager. And this stack manager VM will give you the web GUI page. You can deploy your SBC. Okay, so let me come here. Let me show you in practical. So this is my stack manager. So if I come here on home, so this is my stack manager VM. This is okay. So in Cloud Edition, you need to deploy stack manager VM to install your Cloud Edition AudioCode SBC. Okay, and if you want to deploy a virtual edition SBC, so you can directly deploy a SBC on the cloud without stack manager. Okay, so let me log in. Just give me a second. Okay, so if you see here, it is showing me some error. Okay, why? Because I am running a free version of Azure. Okay, so because of which my resources are limited. Okay, and that is why this automatic provisioning of audio code SBC through Stack Manager is not possible. Okay, so how you will like deploy your SBC through Stack Manager? You need to create a new stack. Okay, suppose if I give a name and then the stack type. So if you see, we have multiple options, right? Median C, median V, Windows Server. So for Cloud Edition deployment, because I am going to use Stack Manager, so I will choose this option, Median Cloud Edition. Okay, and then environment, this is a Azure environment, and then subscription, you need to have a subscription on the Azure, and you need to select that subscription, and then you need to choose your region, suppose East US, and then you need to deployment topology. So availability set, you are going to deploy a single SBC or availability zone. So if you are selecting availability zone, then it will be deployed in high availability. Okay, then you can see the zones are coming as 1 and 2. Okay, and then you can select your virtual network, which you have created earlier on the Azure, like the virtual network environment. You need to create before logging into this stack. And then it will give you the subnets. So you need to have the subnets. So one subnet I have created for media, and one subnet I have created for handling the management and the signaling. And then you can choose your public IP. So public IP I'm going to have because I'm using main subnet as a my management as well as signaling. So I've selected that. And then VM type. So this is where it wasn't letting me to deploy the SPC through Stack Manager. This VM type is your this standard D8, D5, VM V5 is your the VM sizing. Okay, so if you click on this, so you will have different VM sizing on here, and they are defined on behalf of CPU and RAM. What kind of CPU and RAM they will use. So on behalf of that, this VM type sizing you need to select. But on the free account, I have only limited resources, so that's why it was failing to deploy a SPC, because it wasn't getting allocated the complete CPU and RAMs. Okay, so if you are running a the licensed version of Azure, then you can deploy this. And then this VM type this VM type is for signaling component, which will handle the signaling, and one VM type you need to deploy for media, which will handle the media. Okay, and then you have to have the admin username and password, and then the SBC version, what version you need to deploy. You can select the number of there are many versions which are available, and then you have to allow this management ports, and then the signaling ports, and then media ports, and then all traffic which are coming using main subnet, because I am using main subnet as management plus VoIP. So I have selected that, and then just create. Okay, so if I just click create, so admin user, because okay, I did not configure the admin username, so it will be created, and if everything is fine, then your SPC will be up. Okay, so this is the cloud edition deployment, uh, how you will deploy via Stack Manager. And for virtual edition, what you need to do, you need to just search this. Just sources. Yeah, this one. Sorry. Okay, create a resource. Okay, and here you need to select the median.
Gaurav,
Hmm.
so we take from the marketplace, right? That
Yes,
is
yes.
for this is the one you are doing that one.
Yeah, this is the marketplace.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, if you see here, it is a marketplace.
okay. Yeah.
So you need to create a resource, and then you need to select this option, search this option, median V session border controller, and then you will be presented with this median V session border controller, and then you need to just click create on this, and then it will populate your multiple options. Okay, because I am already running a SPC, so I'm not going to create, but you need to select your VM subnet. Whatever options I have just shown you in the cloud edition, the similar options will be presented to you this, and then you can just create, and this VM will be created. So I have already my VM, this my SPC VM, which is running. Okay, and you can once this is created, you can access it via like this. Okay, VM should be up. Let me just okay. So now you are into the audio code SPC GUI page. Okay, and let's try to log in into the CLI.
Gaurav, one more thing, right? So you will show us like physical SBC and the analog codes like MP 112 or 114 and 118. Those things you will show us like configurations and troubleshooting.
So configurations I can show. Yeah, definitely. I don't have the hardware SBC. So, uh, but the hardware SBC and the software SBC, like the cloud SBC, have the same interface. Okay, there's no difference between
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
interface. Yeah. So
That I know, like we have like analog lines and PRI lines. So that's what we need some like troubleshooting things called like SIP.
I will give you some idea how you will do the troubleshooting on that front.
That is what I need more things like whenever we get a logs, SIP logs. So where the actual problem like that and how the analog phones register. So you will show us the analog phones things like how
Uh,
the
I need to check if there is any analog phones, like software analog phones are available, because I don't have any hardware setup for lab. It is totally on the cloud. So I will check if I have, definitely I will show you.
yeah thing is that our architecture like our analog phones connected to the local SBC and then it goes to our IMTS enterprise service provider SBC.
Mhm.
So everything the calls is going to that IMTS through local PRI like the
Mhm.
architecture we have. Means one of the architecture like that and another one like mix like that one sometimes IP to IP, sometimes IP to PRI link, and from the PRI call is go. So it's a complex things have. So
Yeah,
that we
understand.
need things.
So we are able to access both GUI and CLI. Okay, and if you see here, so just okay. So this is important. Okay. So if you have even T1 lines, it will be presented in the same fashion like this. If that even T1s are up, it will be green. If it is down, then it would be brown color or red color. Okay. So this is the first thing, how you will identify or how you will check the status of your trunks. So these are currently the ports which are connected there, and you will physically know, okay, my ports are not up or my ports are down, or there is a far end connectivity, like in even T1 you will have your even gateway and all. So you need to
So in
check that.
green, that means it's already have PRI connected like that
So
or something.
it is a port, so that's why it is up. Currently it is not connected anything, but these
Oh,
ports are healthy and up.
okay. If it is connected, then what color it shows? Like
It
is
will
the
show green only.
okay, okay.
Yeah, it will
But
show
how
green.
do I check like okay, this has the physical connectivity or something?
In
Not the
this
active port. Yeah.
in show network ether group, you will have your connectivity like this uplink and all. So if you see, I have two ports connected. I was showing. This is why it is showing uplinks are one. So you will have the currently these are showing zero because they are not connected.
Okay.
Okay.
No, the green one, the green two ports are G1 and 2.
J1 and 2 is.
Okay, that means it's a like network port, like
Yep, yep,
LAN port or something. Network.
yep. And on this uh, this dashboard, if you see, there are number of active calls. It will show answer seizure ratio, answer call duration, calls per second, transactions per second, how many registered users are there. So it is like a single view uh, by which you can just monitor your AudioCode SBC health, how many calls are there and all. So there are many things which we will go one by one by
Okay.
going
Yeah,
into
and
all this. Yeah,
you just go whatever your agenda. So
yeah.
that
So this is we will cover in more details by going forward. Okay.
yeah.
So now, Aditya, is it clear what is the difference between virtual edition?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear now. One more thing, in the pure SBC, what is that last option, Mediant SE Software Edition, and how it is different the other categories like 2600 or 990X6? So what is the difference between them?
So this Mediant SE Software Edition. So this comes along with the software version, different software version which you can choose while deploying this SPC or wherever you will connect your console. So you will be
Mhm.
presented what kind of the software you want to deploy. So in this software edition, you can choose that software to run for that Mediant SPC. Okay, and this is like major difference into this is about the capacity.
Capacity.
I should have a comparison here. Okay, yeah, this one. If you see software edition, okay,
Mhm.
so this has much more capacity than other SPCs. Okay, and where you can deploy this. So generally, this is deployed on the service provider side because anyway, any customer doesn't want this kind of capacity,
Mhm.
right? It is
Mhm.
limited to the service provider.
Right.
So this is deployed on the service provider side mostly. But all these other SPCs you can deploy on the enterprise level, and you can choose your SPC according to your requirement, how many calls or sessions you want to have run.
So when you mention there will be options to use which software version of the,
Mhm.
so what, I mean, what those software versions like, so every other or every version will have its own capacity or session in terms of I mean, what is the difference?
No. So these SBCs, okay, they come along with a chassis, and they will have a default software version.
Right.
Okay, they will not present you different software versions. Okay, but these SBCs, this SBC will have multiple default software versions. Okay,
Okay.
so you can choose your software version according to your feasibility, whatever the latest is, because this chassis comes with the not the latest, but the manufacturing when it was made and what time, which version was there. So that chassis is built upon that. But this gives you the feasibility. You will have the latest images as well, which you can deploy.
So it's kind of it's kind of version. I mean, image version.
Yeah.
Which we can choose as per our. I mean, not as per, but as per whatever suggested by the vendor itself, right?
Yep.
So, but there will not be any difference. I mean, in terms of
there will not be difference in terms of feature or the working.
Okay.
So
And
median
about the other three, they will come up with a fixed version, and just in case if vendor has highlighted any vulnerabilities or our
You can
internal,
upgrade it.
we can upgrade it, right?
Yeah, you can upgrade it.
Okay.
In this also, after deployment, suppose you have deployed the latest version, and after that there is a new release came, so you can upgrade.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Upgrade feasibility will be there.
So Gaurav, the Mediant AC, it's a software disk, and we can use the physical server as a 9030 or 4000. It's like, right?
So Mediant SE is also a hardware. It is just named as a Mediant Software Edition because it comes with comes along with multiple software images in the chassis.
Okay.
And other comes with a default image.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So these are other a few enterprise SPCs which can be deployed. So these are coming with this T1 even lines. So depending upon your session capacity, you can deploy your or you can choose your enterprise SPC. Okay, I will share this slide. You can go into more details. So this is the difference between virtual and cloud SPC portfolio. So Mediant virtual edition. So you can deploy it on these applications. So you can deploy it on enterprise level, on service provider, or anywhere. And then the capacity. So Mediant cloud edition provides you more capacity than Mediant virtual edition because of the resources. So as I was saying on the stack manager, Mediant C utilizes more resources in terms of CPU and RAM. Okay, and that is why it is able to handle more calls and sessions into this, while Mediant virtual edition has less resource intensive, where it has limited CPU, limited RAMs, and that is why the capacity is quite low in terms of or in comparison with the cloud edition SPC. Okay.
And one more thing, can you please tell me the transcoding things like the up to 12,000? What is that? Like 12,000 means?
Yeah, so this is like a media component, and transcoding comes with like DSP resources. Okay, is digital signal processing resources, which is responsible to you have the transcoding feature. Okay, so suppose if A called B, okay, and your SBC is sitting in between, and this person negotiated on G711, and B party doesn't support G711. They support G729. So this SBC will invoke the transcoding. It will utilize the resource of it. This resource. This is a maximum capacity of 12,000 concurrent transcoding session it can handle.
Okay. So session. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
So this transcoding will invoke one transcoding session to convert this G711 to G729 so that that call work end to end. Is one of the example of this. Okay.
Got it.
Any other questions? Okay. So this is the OVOC. So audio code along with SBC, you have the ARM, which is your routing manager, where you can have the routing based on the numbers or E.164 numbers. Okay. And then you have your OVOC, which is your monitoring tool. So in the monitoring tool, it is just a graph which is getting shown here, how the total number of calls is will be shown on that OVOC tool. Okay. So in the Mediant Cloud Edition SBC, when we were deploying a stack, so we were having one signaling component, SC, and we were deploying separately media components, right? MC. So this is how, and in virtual edition, we did not did like that. It will be simply just deployed once you select the virtual networks and all. It will just deployed. You don't have to separate this SC and MC. But Mediant Cloud Edition gives you the feasibility to have the management of signaling and media components separately, so that you can manage the media components or signaling components in a better way. And because they are um, different resources, so if there is any problem with the signaling, then you will just look on the signaling component of that SPC. And if there is any issue with the media, DTMF, transcoding, then you will look on the media component of that SPC. This is how it gives you a more futuristic solution for the problems which is like on the other SPC, where you cannot do a separate the separation of signaling and media, because it will be handled by single resources. Okay. And that is why it is more scalable. Okay. Because if your capacity is getting increased, so you can deploy more signaling component and more media component according to your sizing requirement. Okay. This is one of the bigger benefit in Mediant Cloud Edition SPC deployment. Okay. And the best part is you can manage your SPC via Stack Manager. Then I have just mentioned few devices which are there, and this is like OVR, and then audio code room, meeting rooms devices. These are few types which you can go through. And what are the user benefits for audio codes? So you reduce your operational costs. Okay. The migration of the users is very smooth. Security, yes, it provides you the security. Web portal is, as I have shown you, the web portal is very easy. And command line you might find a bit difficult if you are not familiar with the command line. So generally, I have seen users for ribbon and audio code, they prefer GUI, and even for Oracle. I always prefer At least for audio code and Oracle, I always prefer CLI instead of the GUI, because I have more commands on the CLI for these two SPCs. For Ribbon, I have not worked much, but GUI I know better than CLI for Ribbon. So, and you have the efficiency increased on the SPCs and all. You can do the scaling, auto scaling on the cloud deployments automatically, which I will just explain you. And there are many more features which you can utilize on the SPC while deploying in the Microsoft Teams direct routing environment. Okay. So let's come here. Okay. This we have already covered. Back-to-back user agent. Okay. What is back-to-back user agent? Have you heard about this?
Whether, yeah, I mean, it can act as a client as well as a server. I mean, it can
Yeah.
ask for something at the same time. It can generate, or it can provide the answers
Yeah,
to the
right.
other party if any query is coming to it.
Yeah, right. So SPC is a back-to-back user agent, and any SPC. Okay. So SPC acts as a client as well as a server. So if any client is sending the request to SPC, it will respond. At that time, it is acting as a server. And if SPC sends the calls to any PSTN environment or any user, then it act as a client and PSTN environment act as a server, and it receives a response. So that is why SPC is called as a back-to-back user agent, where it can handle the session from end to end in the egress and ingress leg. So this is one of the benefit of SPC, and this is how the back-to-back user agent call will flow. So caller invites, call came to SBC, SBC responded to caller. Okay, and then SBC sends that call, process that call, and send it to the callee. And then callee responds to SBC. So this is how this complete session is getting established by utilizing this SBC feature, back-to-back user agent. Okay. And then the same thing I have mentioned here with respect to comparison and all. You can go through it in more details. And then this, as I was saying, where you can deploy audio code SPCs. So you can deploy with Microsoft Teams web routing, with Microsoft Teams phone system, PSTN carrier, and all. And you can have your deployment architecture as we learned into different slides. And then OVOC, these are the monitoring tools, centralized management tools for audio code SPCs. Is developed by AudioCode even, and you can deploy these two things to have more control on your SPC. Okay, so this OVOC, just giving you some brief. OVOC is one voice operation center, and it gives you these kind of features where you can trace out the call on behalf of the voice quality, lifecycle management. So if you forgot to upgrade your SPC, okay. So this lifecycle management section on this OVOC will give you the reminders and all to manage your SPC firmware. So you can do the firmware upgrade through OVOC of the audio code, and you can upgrade your SPC from this. Then alarm and event management. So whenever audio code SPC will send a trap, it will come to OVOC, and from OVOC you can send that trap to Netpool or any other ticketing monitoring tool, which can create a proactive ticket for you, so that you can proactively work upon that event or issue or that alarm. And then you have a topology mapping, where you can connect your SPCs, and you can monitor your SPCs interconnection in real time. And then call tracing, as I was saying, obviously also provide you the feasibility of call tracing, so you can have the call trace and open the call trace to trace out of and troubleshoot the issue. And then audio code routing manager, it gives you the it is just kind of central routing engine, which provides you the feasibility to handle or manage multiple SPCs in one go. So if you want to push a single configuration into your SPC, and which is common for every SPC, so you can achieve it via ARM. You can just put that configuration into ARM, and it will push that configuration to all the SPCs which are deployed in your environment. You don't have to go into each SPC and do the configuration for that particular device. Okay, so this is the features which are also available with AudioCodes, which can be deployed and used for managing your SPC. And then this is what we have learned today. So any questions?
Uh, uh,
Mhm.
I don't know. So, I mean, as for the, you have a better idea since on audio code. So, what is the major industries are going for? Is it something like hardware based or the hardware based, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So most of the
So based
enterprises,
on,
yeah, yeah,
hmm.
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so from the hardware-based audio code SBC, uh, can you like cover some more detailed, like how their signaling management or the media management is? I mean, I just wanted to have a more better understanding in terms of how these two components are working or they are intact together, kind of thing.
Yep. So we are going to cover, as I said,
Okay.
so we are going to
Uh-huh.
cover each and every parameter for this SPC in detail.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. What is the purpose of it? How you will configure it? So everything I'm
Mhm.
going to cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So
Okay.
these IP network setup, monitor, troubleshoot, and all these sections, and then all these sections I'm going to cover in detail. So you will have the complete idea and complete understanding of audio code SPC, or what things you need to look for.
Okay. Thank you. And one more, Gaurav, how many days the training will be like this? Like how many classes will be?
So total 7 classes would be there.
Okay.
Okay, so every Saturday and Sunday, and for 2 hours. So tomorrow we'll have another class for 2 hours, where I will discuss about all these options first. What are okay? So what I am going to do? So for tomorrow, I am going to just explain all these parameters. Okay, in our session,
Okay.
what is these parameters and what are their roles? We are not going to configure anything by tomorrow. And from next week, we will configure step interfaces, media realms, and we will try to integrate it with Microsoft Teams direct routing environment. Okay, and then we'll try to make some simulation of calls. So this is total agenda. So tomorrow, in tomorrow class, we are going to cover each of these parameters, each of these subtabs, what are their roles, and what are these parameters, when you have to look on these parameters, how you will do the upgrade and all. So all those things I'm going to discuss by tomorrow. And then from the configuration perspective, how you will configure the SIP interface, IP groups, VDRM, SIP trunks and all, that we are going to cover by next week, Saturday and Sunday. Because if
And
you understand the parameters, what are their roles and responsibilities, then that would be more clearer when I will do the configuration.
Right. So while explaining, okay, yeah, okay, no.
Gaurav, what is the last date of the last session? What date?
Okay, so just give me 1 second. So 9, 10 would be on 23rd of May.
Okay, 23rd and 24th.
It is a 7 days workshop. So 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, and then the last day is 23rd. But it is not very like hard coded. So
Is it possible to do before like 23rd and 4th? I will not be available.
mhm.
So is there any other day, or otherwise I will miss that class?
Okay. So probably we will have a common date when you both are available. Okay, and I will ask other guys if they are also available. I'm not
Okay.
sure if they are going to.
Yeah, that will be out of station.
So we will decide a common date.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think that's all for today, and I will request you guys to have some understanding of SIP as well, because when I will discuss about more on the AudioCode SBC and Microsoft Teams Direct Routing, the SIP understanding is very much required, because
Hello.
Yeah. So do you have any SIP, any trainings, like any YouTube or some trainings where I can read something or study something?
there are many channels available on the YouTube. You can just search session initiation protocol and it will come
Yeah,
up.
I have something, but again, if you recommend something like some YouTuber, like what are the trainer, you like that and you recommend that, I'll study that things.
Probably that you can. I will try to search one of the portal was there where it
Okay.
has different flows
Yeah.
and its explanation. I will just search and I will just put it on the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank
I think for today's session, things are clear, right? And you are
you.
now more familiar what is audio codes and how the deployment architecture works. And now, if anyone asks you what kind of deployment model they should choose, you have an understanding to guide them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And one more thing, like
Eh,
you explaining on the notepad, if you have some digital notepad, like, because whatever you are writing or diagram, so it's you are saying, but on the diagram it's not properly visible, like
Mhm.
uh, so that's, if you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yeah,
My expectations are more, but I will try to do it
yeah,
because
if something good, at least I can make a note here like that,
sure,
or
sure.
screen capture. So
I will try to draw it more clearer because it will be available into the recordings. Okay, whatever I'm explaining. So if you
yeah,
want to review it, so you can just go into the recording and you can review it. But I will
yeah.
make it more clearer in the upcoming classes. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Hey
Adit.
Gaurav, actually I missed last 2 to 3 minutes conversation because of some network issue. So anything important from last two three
No,
minutes?
no. So I was just explaining. I'm not sure if you have heard about this. for tomorrow we are going to have the conversation about all these parameters and all these
Uh-huh.
subsections, what are
Okay.
these roles and responsibility. And apart from that, we were just discussing about when this complete session is going to be ended.
Okay.
So
Okay.
on 23rd, Kaushik is not available. So I have
Mhm.
told him that we will have a common date with you and Kaushik. And I'm not sure about the rest participants whether they are going to continue or not.
Okay.
So probably we will decide a common date. On that date, we will end up this session.
Yeah, I mean, just so one suggestion on my
Mhm.
side. I mean, if he's not available on 23 and you're not occupied
Also.
after 12 on 16 and 17, so maybe we can stretch a bit on both the days, and instead of giving a break of a week, if we can finish by 17th. I mean, just thought
And
on my side.
I'm okay on Friday as well, like 15, 16,
Okay.
17.
So what we will do? We will do the session of 16th and 17th of 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right.
it will cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or can or Friday also, like
No,
if
Friday,
Friday,
not
we have a
okay,
available.
working day, right?
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's no problem.
Okay. Okay. So thank you both for joining in, and have a great
Thanks, Gaurav.
day and great
Just one
weekend.
last question.
Yeah. No problem.
Nothing. I mean, yeah. So